in this time of Venus retrograde, and Venus is all about relationships, we're redefining the foundations of relationship. Relationships are the foundation of collaborative effort. The evolution of the definition of what a relationship is will allow us to redefine our relationship with the ecosystem, with nature, with other species, with the lakes, the trees, the forests, the rivers, the oceans, the earth itself. That redefinition of relationship needs to occur between human beings. What is a healthy, safe, functional, desirable, sustainable relationship? How do we connect with each other? How do we meet each other? How do we commit to each other? How do we trust each other? How do we have a new way of loving each other that we can say, I have faith in that. That is so beautiful. That is so wonderful. That is so necessary. I'm willing to risk looking foolish or failing or not getting what I want personally to bring that to fruition in this world. For us as an organization to be the midwives of that new model, that new process of trustworthy, integrous, quality, evolving and transformational relationship. We can do that together, and we are. People's fear of socially being judged or criticized is part of their trust modeling and whether they are or are not willing to commit to any organizational process. Their projections of ego identity or their belief systems or their if they try to make everything into logic and say, oh, that doesn't make logical sense. Well, love doesn't make logical sense. And what would the world be like without love? Love transcends logic. People who are stuck in logic and analytical thought and mind processes, if they're not making their decisions from love, they're missing out. They're missing out on the greatest power they'll ever have, because love is it. Whether it's soul love, personal love, spiritual love, it's all part of the same necessary process. If we can't love the world, the natural world, are we going to care enough to be motivated to heal it, to replenish it, to operate in harmony with it, to redefine our relationship with it? So love transcends the fundamental dynamics of transaction and exchange that are often what we base our trust models on. This is a very fragmented process in many people. They shift from love when they're with their children to transaction and exchange dynamics and distrust models when they go to this grocery store. Do you see how instantaneous that shift is, how dysfunctional it is? So in this process of attaining a new model of love, a new model of social process, a new model of trust, a new model of conscious collaboration that is healthy and sustainable, we must be courageous as individuals and as a team of teams, as an organization, and in concert with the rest of humanity. Because if we don't evolve our values that we base our decisions upon together, and if those values and principles and shared collective goals are not part of our relationship model and our trust model, are we going to be willing to collaborate consciously to align ourselves and mobilize ourselves at requisite scale to solve climate change? So it must be a whole solution. Otherwise, we remain divided, non-unified. We may applaud all of our diversity while we remain disunified, working at odds against each other or just in different directions, like horses hitched up to a wagon, pulling in all different directions. The wagon goes nowhere. We don't collectively solve our climate change process because we have not unified as nations, races, genders, and cultures and religions. So that requires starting with trust and building into love and faith and consciousness, and navigating the wounds that humanity has inflicted upon itself and on the world, and healing them in order to make that the first fledgling steps of trust possible. So today in our world with COVID, have we got a very rapidly changing definition of what is socially responsible behavior? So if I have a cough today, does that mean I should go put myself in my house for 10 days and not go anywhere near anybody because I don't want to infect them and I don't want to be judged, punished, or ostracized or feel horrible and ashamed and guilty for having potentially killed somebody? And we're not making light of the situation. These are real circumstances. So if I say, well, I have a cough, but I don't have a fever, so I'm going to make a decision. I probably am not COVID positive, so probably I'm okay. Okay, then I find out that somebody I know has COVID, and then I think, did I do that? Did they maybe catch it for me? It didn't bother me very much, and it's killing them. How do we navigate social responsibility today in the midst of COVID? How do we develop trust models? How do we develop self-accountability models that support social process that will keep as many people alive and well as possible, and also allow us to make wise, caring, loving decisions, not out of fear, shame, guilt, self-judgment, fear of being ostracized or punished, just because we love everybody and we love ourselves.